retire in decency. It's called Primerica Financial Services, for what it's worth. Thank you.
He looks younger. There's somebody who's on the younger side of things here tonight. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yes, sir.
Yes, you say you're looking for stimulus for our economy to some extent. We have billions and billions of dollars at probably the lower end of our economy and people in our economy paying 18 plus percentage points on their borrowed money on credit cards. Now, back before early 1980s, that was against the law. It was a usury law. The usury law was 12% at that point in time, but when the prime rate went up to 16, 15, 16%, they allowed it to go above or up to the 18, 20% rate. So the prime rate right now is basically at zero. Why are these companies still allowed to charge 18 and 20%? And if we would get rid of that and just drop the percentage back to 10 or 12%, then billions of dollars would go into our economy immediately. Because these people will spend their money because they're in trouble, many of them are. I don't know why that hasn't been proposed or done. Probably because banking is so powerful. But it's one of those things that would be a fair thing to the American people to not let them criminally. It was a crime before. You know, these are the guys down the street corner breaking your legs. Yeah. And today, it's the banks down there breaking the people's legs. And I think it needs to be changed. And it would create a stimulus to this country that would probably be pretty impacting because it would dump billions of dollars into our economy immediately.
Thank you. Certainly, I believe that there are banks that have taken advantage of a lot of different situations, especially over the last decade. We saw, you know, with some of the things that happened with TARP and bailouts, and you know, there have been a lot of wrong things that have happened that I didn't support that were done before I got there. High interest rates is a huge part of that. Predatory lending is a huge part of that. I think that there needs to be some regulation, but I will tell you from my perspective, when I was a young airman, I see a lot of these bills, and you know, I used to have a lot of I was on the Veterans Committee, and they would come and talk to me about some of the lending practices around our military bases. Now, I was a young airman, signed up when I was 17 years old. You know, I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I probably was not the best at saving. As many of our younger members are, but I always believed there was a right that I should be able to go out and borrow money to buy a car, or to, you know, if I got in trouble, to be able to borrow money in a pinch. But it shouldn't be predatory, and it certainly shouldn't be at the high interest rates right now. It should be based on risk. You know, and certainly I would have had to pay a higher risk because I was not making very much as a young airman. And, you know, it should be based on credit, though, not on, you know, some of the practices that are being used right now at that higher interest rate. Yes, ma'am, Mayor.
Congressman, my comment is actually not a question, it's actually an invitation. You may recall that Riverbank was a brat closure site in 2005. There were many who did not believe that this old, dilapidated Army ammo plant could ever become what it used to be back in the 60s when they were developing shell casings for the Vietnam War. We've actually embarked on some incredible amount of opportunities that I believe you should be privy to. We have a Fortune 500 company right now, as we speak, that is looking to sign a lease with us. I want to showcase this as the perfect opportunity where we're going to bring in new technology, biofuel, green energy, and it's a partnership between, again, what the federal government decided to do in terms of letting go of this federal property, if you will, the state taking opportunity to showcase that businesses still can be profitable in the state of California, and local government. So my question to you is, we would love to have you come out when this Fortune 500 company announces their lease with Riverbank. I want to see more collaboration between local, state, and in the federal government, especially when it comes to this Army ammo plant.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And it is actually, I think, something that's very exciting to happen in our community. I thank you for the invitation, and I thank you for the hard work that you guys have done to collaborate and put this together. It is something where, we have many facilities like this that have sat vacant that should be utilized and redeveloped in our community. I have time for just a couple more. Back here, here, and then one more over here. Yes, sir.
I would like to see that the government pays a little bit more attention to the real small businesses. Government says that small business is a business with 500 people. Apple started with 4 guys. I'm starting my second business as a rental place. I'm building a castle. And
you're building a castle?
Yes, I'll give you a business card.
Is that a moat?
It has a moat, and just like real castles, I'm fighting crime. 80 robberies since I've been building it. But for the biggest part, these days, all the counties are planning to shoot you down with their rules and regulations before you even start. I had a well digged on my property, and it says, now, you cannot use your well, because if you rent your place out, now you are a water municipality, and you have to spend $4,000 a month monitoring your well, testing your well, people on standby. So you can't even rent your place out because before you are started, you are nickel and dime to death by government to even start your business. What they now like to see is that all small business starts in a big city, and we pull all the people off the land and just pack them in big warehouses. And you will see that all the small businesses, the mom and pop businesses, the little mom and pop businesses out in the county are all disappearing because they cannot afford the rules and regulations. And I spent $10,000 and I got the right to be in business, and I only was allowed to work 6 days a year. Now they say, okay, if you spend another $10,000, $2,000 goes to fish and game, and we will see, or you have the right to be on your own property. And then maybe you have the right to work 40 days a year. And I believe that is how you kill small business, when you have them pay the same business permit and licenses as a Walmart, but I only have the right to work 6 days a year. And then you have to spend more money, and then you only get the right to work 40 days a year. And that's kind of what's killing business, and we should change it.
I'd like to get your card. I want to see the castle. Come over after. All right, 3 more questions. And I'll be here for a little while afterwards. Yes, sir.
About 3 or 4 months ago, you were very for a balanced budget amendment. Mm-hmm. Are you still enthusiastic
Absolutely.
For that?
Yes.
Thank you.
I might be able to get a couple more questions if we can get them all like that. Over here? Yes, sir.
Mine's more of a comment on illegal immigration. Just so you know, I was born in Mexico, came here when I was 13, educated here, and I learned that back in the 80s we were a very strong country. We didn't take crap from anybody. Bolivia got smart, we won sank the ships. When Nicaragua tried to declare war on us, we went and put an aircraft carrier on the shores, let's go ahead, take your best shot. The problem that I see now with illegal immigration is everybody's jumping on this wagon about let's legalize it and let everybody in here. And that is totally wrong. I've been 22 years in the Navy. I've been a police officer for 26 years. I'm on the ground. I'm seeing a whole different picture than everybody is. What people don't understand is when the guy crosses the border, he has committed a felony. In order to get a job, he has to get a Social Security card. It's another felony. When he presents a Social Security card with his papers to state it's here illegally, that's another felony. We're up to 3. And now you're telling me that the federal government wants to give everybody a blanket party and says, yeah, I can come over here and stay here. That is wrong. Not only that, but a lot of the people that are here illegally, they're actually selling drugs. I worked the county jails. I talked to the guys that were there. Now, I only came in with the idea of, I'm coming to America, I'm going to work at a farm. But when they were approached with selling drugs and they realized how much money they can make so quickly, they changed their occupation, for lack of a better term. We have taken, I'm also part of the SWAT team, we have taken a huge market, a big, 10 times as safe market. They were laundering money for the cartels. We took a restaurant down. The owner was laundering money for the cartels. Those people that do not believe that cartels are here, you are so wrong. All you got to do is drive 6 miles and go to Cross Landing Road. Guess what? Cartels are heavily there. They're very heavy there. We cannot have a blanket legalized. Now, I know this is kind of weird because I came from Mexico, but through my job, I've seen it, and you can't do that. I believe that tell them, hey, you want to come here? Go back over there like we did. We waited till Uncle Sam called up and said, okay, you're next. We came up, and that's what we did, and we made something of ourselves. You can't just make a blanket party with just everybody coming in. You got so many crap, excuse me. You got so much stuff out there that's coming in. People look at it and goes, oh, it's just a little Juan coming over here, and he wants to work. No, it's not Juan. You ought to see some of the people that were taken down. People that I least expected. These are people that were businessmen. You thought, oh my God, no, they're laundering money for the drug cartels. Whatever you take to Washington, please tell them you cannot do a blanket party. And federal government goes to our state and county. We have chiefs of police and sheriffs going around saying we're not going to talk, we're not going to ask the people that are here legally or illegally because we want them to come forward. Guess what? I've been working the streets for 26 years. When a shooting happens, you go knock on the door, you know what you get? No hablo, I didn't see nothing. So this thing about if we're not going to ask them, they're going to come forward, it's a bunch of BS. They're not helping us.
I think you saved the best for last. A Korean War veteran? Yes, sir. Yes. I'm just guessing. I saw your hat, so.
Well, I hope I'm here. I hope you can carry some information to the president sometime or other.
I don't want to give the impression that I meet with him often,
No,
but
I
I will do my best.
No, I know you don't. He keeps referring to President Lincoln, patting him on the back. But President Lincoln said at one time, and I'm sure that all people know what Lincoln said, many other presidents said. He said, if you can't support the few who are rich, you certainly cannot save the many who are poor. That's a very conservative statement, and we all live to that. And President Obama doesn't seem to recognize that, and he ought to be aware of those things.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think that's a good one to close on. Let me first thank all of you. If Washington could work like this audience did today, obviously I don't expect everybody in this room to agree. I know that there's going to be a lot of differences, but we were all very civil. We were able to have a discussion. We all, I think, can agree on many of the problems that our nation faces. Now we've got to figure out how we can all come together. And that's what I'll take back to Washington, to continue to try to work together, not only within the Valley delegation, which I think is critically important for our community, but as a nation as a whole. I mean, I'm somebody who's strong, who believes in some very strong principles. I take my vote very seriously. Every time I go, I think of my kids and the future that they're going to have. But we can do it with civility. We can work together to figure out where we can come together. And so I just want to thank all of you for taking your time to be here tonight. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you. I'm a public servant, and I'm working for all of you. And I would just ask if you have something that you agree with me on, if you have something to disagree with me on, even if you want to insult me once in a while, send me an email, send me a letter, but communicate with me and let me know what I can do to better serve you. I take that serious. I mean, they do pack me a good thick binder every week when I come back and forth, and I go through that. I see what your messages are. I respond to you. We respond to every letter. I would say quicker than any other member of Congress. We try to do it very, very quickly. But again, I would just ask you to continue to work with us and let us know what we can do to better serve you. If there are questions I didn't get to tonight, I'm going to be here for a little bit longer, or we can certainly take down those questions and I can get you a written response. If I didn't answer something as full as you would have liked me to, I can give you a much longer response. And if there's an issue, I know that there was an issue on a bill, I certainly want to make sure that you get a clarified answer. You're interrupting me. What am I missing?
Only because the library closed today, so we have to be gone by 8.
Okay, so we will all be here shortly until the library closes. Again, thank you. Appreciate the library staff in helping us out today, and certainly Supervisor, thank you.
Let me just real quick, on Jeff's behalf here, I know how hard this guy works, and we sure appreciate him being here. He's in our county as a supervisor. He's meeting with us, every month. We're sitting down with Jeff and talking to him. He's all over the place. He plays basketball with me over on the south side. He actually moves pretty good for a big man. And I know the sacrifice his family's got, his kids here. I know, having doing this myself now, I know what a drain this is on the family. And Jeff, we just want to thank you for how hard you work and how you're representing us and sitting here.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll shoot you an email if there's anything we can do. Great job.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I like it. I apologize. You know, right?
There's a place out there with all the almond processors and stuff.
Mitchell?
No.
Here? Klaus?
No, it parallels Hickman Road.
Yosemite?
No, it's between this side of Amsterdam and between there and Waterford. Hickman, between Hickman.
I don't get out Waterford.
Mount Pillier Road. Mount Pillier.
Yes.
He's
all right.
He's the other side of Mount Pillier Road. East side. East side.
I don't think that the two parties agree. That's okay. We've got to, if that goes through, we've got to.
So you're saying what I heard is you're
That's a direct pull out, direct cut out of it. I mean, that is both parties have agreed. It's got to fill that. It's not going to something, it's not sitting on the right. That's an implementation the first day.
If you talk this too long, it's nice young
They're doing all their energy. That I have to do like the same thing for one event. I have to have a
like not proud, but stand right over here by this nice young lady.
I'll stand behind this one.
Yeah, there you go. He'll be happy to answer your questions, promise. Okay?
But then you have to get the picture.
I want to convince you to see why do you like Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sure.
And president of our nonpartisan and we're having an event on April 5th.
Global Hope Project?
No, sorry. It's actually a scholarship fundraiser.
I will get you my card when I get it out. So don't go away, because I handle the schedule.
All right.
Let me say hi to a couple more people first. Thank you for your question.
Social Security.
Yes, we'll take down your information. I can give you what plans are out there right now. I just was speaking more from a broader perspective that there hasn't been a big push on it just because of Medicare. But it is a serious issue. We all recognize that.
Okay, could I get
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Hi.
My name is Deborah. It was suggested I come in Nancy.
Here's my card. I handle all this scheduling, and if there's any questions, you can just email me and it's right there on the bottom. Okay? Did you call your mother? Yeah.